likely, for the very least amount of time, a year.
Yeah.
And I have divorces that go on 5 years.
Wow.
Or more, because people, especially custody matters, because people are fighting over things, again, that I can't just take a knife and divide in half, or a scissor and cut in half, So that, and also, of course, we have complicated cases that, for example, there are businesses that have to be valued and those kinds of things. But you need to make sure that you can relate to this attorney and that you can speak to the attorney freely.
That's deep there. Usually for people like yourself with such deep experience, 40-something, 34, it's hard to find. I must say, like, customers get in touch with you. It's never an easy walk to across the office. So they have to go through many layers to get to such levels of experience. But there's one thing I want to ask. With everything you and Captola and Divins are doing in the family law and client advocacy, what are you most focused on improving right now within Captola and Divins? Like,
what am I most focused on improving?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this firm, I think that one of the things that I'm very focused in on is giving instruction to our associates. I want our associates to know and be as good as me.
Right.
I don't want them to be under me. I want them to be equal to me.
Right.
So I need to encourage them and give them opportunities and experiences that maybe another law firm wouldn't, because they don't have faith in them. I'm sitting right next to you. I'm standing right next to you. I'm holding your hand. Nothing can go wrong. We can walk into a courtroom and a judge could be not a very nice person and you're a little bit frightened. Just speak. Just speak, because you have to get that experience. And if I think that the judge is beating you up, I'm standing right there. I'm gonna interject.
Okay.
So yeah. So to me, it's very important that our associates have a good learning experience.
Right.
While the clients are being taken care of properly. And so that's an important thing to me in this firm.
This episode of the Smart Office podcast is sponsored by EveryBrain AI. Most businesses are not losing money because they lack good people. They are losing money because too many things still depend on manual follow-up, missed calls, slow response times, and repetitive admin work. That is where EveryBrain AI comes in. We build AI implementation and automation systems that help your business run smarter. From AI receptionists and smart scheduling to lead qualification, workflow automation, client follow-up, and multi-channel lead generation. Imagine having a system that answers inquiries, qualifies prospects, books appointments, follows up automatically, and helps your team focus on the work that actually grows revenue. And the best part, it's done for you. No long-term contracts, no complicated tech headaches. Most systems can be up and running in 5 to 10 days. So whether you want to save time, cut overhead, or generate more qualified leads, EveryBrain AI can help you build the automation layer your business needs. Visit everybrainai.com and book your free strategy call today. EveryBrain AI, we build AI that runs your business.
Right. So to expand a little bit more into other areas, do you be more about client intake? Is that something you want to do? Is it response time? Is it documentation, client communication, case updates, maybe consultation or referral relationship marketing? Or I'm just throwing some words out there. Maybe there's something that comes to mind about improving the client experience. Maybe there's something within Captola and Divins that you guys be focused on working on.
So it has always been a very important thing to me. And I tell clients when they first come to me for a consultation, you will always get a call back from me or an email back from me within 24 hours. I promise. Sometimes I'm on trial and I can't do it that minute. I'm pretty good at responding right away because I don't like things to sit.
Right.
But I find that some of the younger attorneys don't do that. And the clients get very frustrated because they are, again, during the worst time of their life, and they need answers right away.
Information, yeah.
Even if the answer is, I can't speak to you right now because I'm in the middle of a trial. I'm in the office tomorrow. I promise I'll give you a call tomorrow. Even if that's the response.
Sorry, yeah.
So, and the other thing I find is the young people of today are so used to only speaking to people or communicating with people via phones and emails.
Right.
They don't
They
speak.
don't speak. Okay.
You have to call someone. So I'll say to somebody, did you get in touch with the judge about that we need an adjournment on something? And they'll say, oh, I emailed the court. How long ago did you email the court? About 2 hours ago. Did you hear from them? No. Call them.
Yeah.
You need to speak to a person. Yeah, it is frustrating. The frustrating thing to me is I come from a generation where we did not have electronics. Our biggest
Right.
electronic
Right.
thing was the telephone that you
Mm.
had to dial with a round dial. And the people, the young people today did not grow up that way. They grew up different. My 2 grandchildren, 5 and 10 years old, they can use the cell phone and the iPad better than I can, without a doubt. But there is something to be said for that personal contact that you need to have with the client, with the court, with your adversary. That's very important. And I try very hard to promote that and to teach that, but it's not part of their nature. So you kind of have to keep on at it. You have to keep saying it until hopefully somebody gets it and they realize it'll take 2 seconds if you have a conversation with somebody. It could take 5 days if you're waiting to speak to one another via email, you know?
So what would you make you look back, probably say in the next 6 to 12 months, you look back and say this was a strong season for client service or firm growth or something like that. You look back and say, okay, this was really a powerful period, the last 6 or 12 months.
Okay, so for the last 6 or 12 months, I've really concentrated on my cases that I have trials in because those are the most labor-intensive cases. I have involved a new paralegal in helping
Right.
to do that. I have had my associates in various different cases come in and assist on that. And then the next thing is going to be, and now it's your turn. Now let me watch you prepare and do this. So that's the goal that I
Mhm.
have, is to eventually get my associates to do the same as me. They're never
Right.
going to be the same as me because we're 2 different people. They're
Exactly.
also not gonna have the same experience as me because I went through coming up in this field very different than them.
From them,
The
yeah.
women, the young women that are in this field today, they don't know what I went through. They
Women
have no
advocacy.
idea. My generation, we were really the trailblazers for them. We didn't wear pantsuits to court.
So yeah.
We wore dresses and skirts.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy that that's a little nothing thing,
Yeah, for now.
but it is a big cultural thing.
Right.
It is it was different when I went to court, for example, and I had a judge come to the Women's Bar Association meeting and say, you know, when a man comes into court and he's wearing a 3-piece suit and carrying a briefcase, I know he's an attorney. When a woman comes before me, I'm not sure if she's an attorney. Is it okay if I ask her, are you an attorney?
Yeah.
What? She comes in front of you and she says, puts up her appearance on the record and she announces that she's representing somebody. She's an attorney. How dare you ask her if she's an attorney and not the man? If you want to ask, you got to ask both
Both of
attorneys.
them. Yeah.
Are you admitting it's the same kind of discrimination of like any kind of discrimination?
Right.
The women today don't know what that's
They don't
all
know it.
right. So,
Wow.
and I don't necessarily need for them to feel that. I'm glad that they don't feel that. I'm glad that we're in a better place today. But that's just an example of how they
Things.
can never be just like me
Yeah.
because they're coming from a completely different place than me.
Right.
You know.
I know you've spoken a little bit about generational change, technological transformation, maybe mentioning how technology has shifted a lot. Where do you see technology making the biggest difference for family law firms today? Like with everything that is going on, maybe this client intake consultation or scheduling, documentation or case updates, reminders. In maybe CRM, where do you see that change over the years? You've seen how things have gone from everything. Where do you see technology making a change, a
So
difference?
there are many things that for example, in this firm, we require our associates to write blogs every week, and we upload them on Facebook, on wherever, Instagram, Twitter, wherever we upload them. Obviously, these are things that we didn't do. We never had a blog. We didn't even
Right.
have a computer, you know? So there are things that are like blogs, like podcasts,
Yes,
like,
yeah.
you know, these are things that we didn't know.
Right.
Now, this is all new to me, the podcast. This is my second podcast that I'm doing it. I don't even understand what people are finding me to do these podcasts, but I'm having fun with it, so I'm
Right.
okay. But that's a very big difference in the way we were conducting business before. The way we were conducting business before and getting clients was pretty much word of mouth. That was it. There was really nothing else. There was no advertising. There was no internet. There were no search engines. There was no Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We didn't have any of that. Now we have all of that. We, as the older generation, have to learn that we now have to put ourselves out there. We have to market ourselves in a completely different way than we did before. It was okay for me when I was much younger and I was a soccer mom, in addition to being an attorney, to go on the soccer field with all the other parents there and talk myself up so I could get business. I'm not saying we shouldn't continue to do those kinds of things, but now when someone's looking for an attorney, if they go
to soccer.
on Google, who's the
Okay.
best matrimonial attorney?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's who they go to. So, we need to change the way or follow and keep up with the times and the technology in order for us to continue to conduct business and get business. It's a different world
It's a
today.
different world now.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk the year about AI, artificial intelligence, and everybody has a different opinion on what it should do. Some people have extreme ideas, some people have non-extreme, some people think it's good. In your view, do you think AI comes close to, I know you talked about Google. Google AI is like Google on steroids,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Does it help attorneys serve clients more efficiently? Or where do you see where AI is today in terms of your years of technological transformation?
So I think that the AI has affected me personally in my profession, more so in doing research,
Right.
because for every application that we make to the court for some relief for our client, we also have to put in what is the law in that area, right? So we go on our regular search engine. Our search engine could be Westlaw, it could be Lexis, and we put in a question. And now you can get on those search engines, the AI will come up with an answer to the question and cites for cases.
Right.
We have to be very careful because there have been attorneys who have been disbarred. They've been suspended or disbarred because sometimes AI does the research, gives us the cases and the sites, and they're wrong.
You're wrong.
They're a wrong site, or that case that they're telling us about doesn't really, or it doesn't even support the issue that we need to argue about. And so the judges have found that people are just blanketly using these AI search engines and not even doing the work, having them do the work, the AI do the work. I'm not risking getting disbarred for that. That's not
right.
So we have to be very careful. Whatever AI tells us or does, we have to do further research to make sure that it's correct, because and we could lose our license for that.
Exactly. You're right. A lot of that now, people are realizing that AI is the aspect of human in the loop. There's a concept of human in the loop at every step where you have AI. If AI has to write you an email, you have to go over that email again and confirm information in it. So, or if AI has to quote something, you have to go over it. And even though AI is coming, it has to do with probably technology. I remember how technology has changed over the years, especially when it comes to the legal profession. They take their time to adopt, right? When the age of the computer came, they had to be sure that if we're putting this in the computer, it has to be safe and secure. If the internet came, we have to know we don't want to connect to any internet because we don't know how secure it is. People can access.
Absolutely.
And
I mean,
now
I give you an example of how crazy this is. Before COVID, other areas of law were allowed to upload their documents onto a search engine that was run by the state. We, as matrimonial and family law attorneys, we were not allowed to do that because we have more sensitive kinds of cases and there's more confidentiality and they're sealed cases and we don't want anybody to get to them and we're not sure what anybody could get, right?
Yeah.
So we weren't allowed to do that. Now we had COVID. You can't go to the clerk's office to file a paper. You can't
Right.
go to the courthouse to file a paper. Everything's shut down.
Yeah.
Guess what? Now they decided it's okay. We can do that now. So now
Right.
we all have to upload onto the search
Search,
engine, which
yeah.
is nice. When before we couldn't because it wasn't good enough. We
Right.
weren't secure enough. We were worried. We needed original signatures. All of that has now gone by the wayside in a
Exactly.
matter of 6 years.
6
Done.
years.
Yeah.
So it's normal. The legal profession is very hesitant in adopting some of this technology, but eventually they come to like, you're going to tell them don't use a phone. They're going to use a phone. You're going to tell them don't use a. I remember before they would say don't scan. You have to do by the fax machine, like a fax. You have to fax.
Right.
No
Right.
scanning, no emails, only fax because fax is more secure. And now where are the fax machines? We don't know where they've gone because now
Right.
people are like, you know what?
Right. Young people look at those fax machines and they go, what's that? They don't even
Yeah.
know what that is. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
before, you know,
You're
with
right.
me, that fax was the, quote unquote the secure way of sending something. Without
Yes.
it, there's nothing.
Yes.
So if you could remove with the age of AI, it comes down to maybe automation, manual work that keeps so time. If you could, many industries are now seeing how to either save in terms of time, in terms of investment. If you could remove one repetitive or low value task from capital and divines or from the firm's weekly workload, what would it be? What would it look like?
I prefer not to do paperwork. I hate doing paperwork.
Right.
I would love it if we could. So, for example, at the end of a divorce case, there is a submission package, for example. It's a package of documents about this thick that have to be, and it's just repetitive, factual kind of stuff, most of it. They're just documents that are required. I can't get you divorced unless I put in this package. I don't want to do those packages. They're boring. They're, again, just ministerial than anything else. It's not a matter of me thinking of a strategy and the right way to. It's not like that. It's just putting in the date of the marriage is this, the children's names and birthdates are this. It's that kind of stuff. I don't want to do that. I want someone else to do that. I don't mind looking over it and make sure it's correct. I don't want to take my time is worth too much money. Nobody wants to pay me $575 an hour.
Exactly.
To just say what the date of the marriage is and the date of the children's birthdates, right? You want to pay me $575 an hour to try your case. You want to pay me $575 an hour to go in front of a judge and argue for you. You don't want me to do that ministerial paper. I just don't like doing that ministerial paper. If I could find a way, a methodology to not ever have to do that, besides giving it to an associate to do, that would be great. That would be a great invention for our.
Right. Yes. Some of it are low level tasks. Would you consider that a low level task? some of them are just
Yes.
maybe client intake or basic stuff that probably waste maybe the some of the human resources that are within the firm's time. I feel like things could go faster or more accurately if certain things are done with technology. Would you identify any of those? Or if the team, you feel like the team can move forward certain things that are just low level tasks rather than focus doing them manually?
I think that maybe there needs to be probably what would work is if we have an intern,
Right.
not a high paid employee. An intern who's really here just to get experience, having them do those low level kinds of tasks.
Right.
But everybody here has to be on board to do that. I can't be the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have to learn, and you can't learn unless you're doing this over and over again. I have a paralegal, for example, who doesn't know all of these things to do, all of these low-level ministerial things that she could be doing and freeing me up. She doesn't know all of them. I have to teach her. If I have 5 different people I can teach, teaching each one individually takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So there has to be, I don't know, maybe something put in place that we're going to have a little half-hour seminar on how to do this so that everyone knows how to do it. And then do one and give it to me so I can see if you learned anything from this.
Right.
I think those are the kinds of systems that need to be implemented in a firm of this size so that the attorneys are not wasting their time on this stuff. You know what I
Sounds
mean?
good. Yeah, I mean, today's world, especially talk about new graduates, interns, young people graduating from university. There's been a challenge for them because most of these low-level tasks are now being taken over by technology. And I remember talking to an attorney who said it's a challenge because they need these interns, they need associates to be there, given their experience, to be there for them when probably they eventually retire. They need to transition. And once they don't give a chance to these low-level interns or low-level graduates to be doing some of these manual tasks, must not necessarily be going to court, but there's some manual tasks done. But technology is taking over that aspect right now.
Right.
What's your impression of that with technology being incorporated in such a way that taking a lot of these low-level tasks?
Pretty frightened by it. Maybe I'm frightened by it because I am older and I don't have the comfort level and the knowledge, you know? So I'm willing to admit that I'm frightened about what I don't know. So I need to learn in order to not be frightened about it. I don't trust the technology. It's, I'm sure, my own thing, and it has to do with my age and it has to do with my years of experience. I don't trust it. The
Right.
same way that attorney who trusted AI to do all of his research and then ended up getting disbarred. He lost his license to practice law. That kind of stuff scares me. So if I have technology, for example, one of the things that we do in a divorce case is prepare what's called the statement of net worth, which sets forth all of the pedigree information for the client and the family, all of their income, their assets, and their liabilities. That's what the statement of net worth is, and expenses. And it asks many, many questions. It's about a 30-page document.
Right.
I don't want to do it. Do people want to pay me $575
Certainly not.
to say, how much do you spend at the beauty parlor every week?
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. So for that, it would be lovely if we could have some other method of doing this.
Right.
I do usually give it to an associate or a paralegal because I can't, and then I review it because it has to be right. For example, anybody could input the data into a document. But then, for example, if my client shows that the expenses that they spend every year amount to approximately $150,000 a year, but they're only earning $70,000 in their income tax return, I have to be concerned that now some judge is going to think that they have unreported income. I have to be concerned. I have to know, do you have a debt? Do you have a loan? So the technology itself, just inputting that information into the document, is not going to be able to look at it and say, okay, wait a minute, there's a problem with the way this was filled out. You still have to have a person looking at it.
Yeah, to make sense of it. Okay, for someone listening who may be facing a divorce, custody issue, family law matter, what first steps should they take? Maybe talk to what are the first steps?
They need to contact an attorney. They should get referrals from people that they know that have used somebody or know somebody. I don't suggest that you go on Google. I know the attorneys who are at the top of every Google page, for example, on Long Island. I'm going to be honest with you. They're awful. They are awful. And yet it says they're the best. And they're the best because they pay $70,000 a month to be at the top of the Google page. So people need to know not to go with that. Don't go with that. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me after going to those law firms to change from them to us because they're awful.
So where can people learn more about you and connect with Capital and Divins?
Right. So we have a website, Capitola and Divins Law is our website. And certainly in there, it talks about all of the attorneys that are here. You can go on, for example, a search engine like AVVO or lawyer.com and check people's reviews. Google also has reviews. I hate to put us back at Google, but Google also has reviews. And in addition to that, certainly anybody who calls me, they come in for a 2-hour consultation. I can't give them better than that. You know, that's a $1,000 savings to them. And to me, what's important about that, as I said at the very beginning of this podcast, I need to know when they walk out of this office from that initial consultation that they have knowledge, that they know what to expect. They know what the procedure is. They know what the law is, so that then when they leave here and they remember something and that they forgot to ask me, they're really armed with information that they probably could figure it out. Although they can always call me. I always tell them that. You can always call me and I'll give you an answer to the question. And certainly, if I don't know if you want me to give my contact information.
Your contact information is up to you. If it's public.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you share that.
So the name of the firm is Capitola and Divens PC. We're at 2 Hillside Avenue, Building C, in Williston Park, New York. And the phone number here is 516-746-2300. We have an answering service for after hours. If you email me, which is Sklar, Asklar, at capitoladivenslaw.com. If you email me, you will get an email very quickly back, because again, as I said before, I don't like these things to sit. I don't like anybody to say, I tried to get in touch with you, you didn't respond to me. I don't like that. They need to know they're going to get an instant response from me.
That's good. Wow. Amy, thank you for joining me on the Smart Office podcast. I really appreciate your insight on family law, divorce, custody, so many things, technology, client advocacy, helping people navigate difficult legal moments with clarity. It's really been a pleasure having you on our podcast.
Thank you.
Listeners are going to have to learn a lot and know how a lot of people go through this for their first time, and they're going to know how the process, just by sharing, it gives an idea of what it takes, what's going to happen. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
This episode of the Smart Office podcast is sponsored by Everybrain AI. Most businesses are not losing money because they lack good people. They are losing money because too many things still depend on manual follow-up, missed calls, slow response times, and repetitive admin work. That is where Everybrain AI comes in. We build AI implementation and automation systems that help your business run smarter. From AI receptionists and smart scheduling to lead qualification, workflow automation, client follow-up, and multi-channel lead generation. Imagine having a system that answers inquiries, qualifies prospects, books appointments, follows up automatically, and helps your team focus on the work that actually grows revenue. And the best part, it's done for you. No long-term contracts, no complicated tech headaches. Most systems can be up and running in 5 to 10 days. So whether you want to save time, cut overhead, or generate more qualified leads, Everybrain AI can help you build the automation layer your business needs. Visit everybrainai.com and book your free strategy call today. Everybrain AI, we build AI that runs your business.